Afternoon. Good to see everybody. I hope everyone had a good weekend. Disappointing Saturday. About the best way for me to wrap it up. Didn't play to our standard. And as head football coach, and especially the head coach here at North Dakota State, my job to make sure that our kids are thoroughly prepared and motivated to go into every game. And so apparently I didn't do a very good job with that over the course of the last 2 weeks. And so we need to find ways to rectify that. And now that we go on the road, things aren't going to get any easier. I think Missouri State has some outstanding skill kids. They're playing much improved football. I know they were in a close game at Southern Illinois, who I think is a really good football team as well. So we don't have very long to feel sorry for ourselves, but we need to find some answers. We need to make some corrections, find some solutions, and learn from it and move on. Because as I said on Saturday, we cannot allow one loss to multiply into two.
You're coming off of the bye week a little bit there for the slow start on Saturday. Do you think that was any kind of a factor for your guys on the field on Saturday?
I don't think it was. I think if we said something, we're searching for excuses. So, like I said before, I'll take the responsibility for our guys not being ready to go.
First road trip since heading to the Twin Cities, kind of how does the game week change for you guys? Kind of how does the preparation change for you guys going into this one?
Not a whole lot. Our travel plans will be on Friday, just as they were. I think I made comment before that first game of the year that was kind of a pseudo travel. It was maybe good practice for it. This will be a little bit different, just because instead of jumping on a bus and heading 3 hours away, we're going to jump on a flight and head an hour and a half away. But we'll be outside. Those will be, the environment. Will it be loud? I know when you're at Missouri State, the band, their students are right behind you on your sideline. So it does create a little bit of noise, impacts maybe some communication. So we're going to have to continue to rep those. But we have done some of that throughout the year. We've said that we're going to be in a hostile environment at some point. So hopefully we've banked some good reps with some noise.
Response been like from the guys so far? I know right after the game we caught Jalen Sundell catch you guys on the way back to the locker room saying this is how we get better, things like that. What have you seen from the guys?
I've heard a lot of the same. Yesterday, unsolicited, I saw 24 guys stop by my office at different times. A lot of the guys that are currently in our leadership council. But at the same time, we can't have guys continue to beat themselves up. We need to make sure that we are thorough in our evaluation of it. Thorough in our preparation, so we can eliminate the opportunity of this to happen again. But yeah, we have to. If we don't learn from it, then shame on us.
Do you think that this is something Cam said is that he hopes this could light a fire under the team like it did kind of the last couple of years? Do you think that happens here?
Potentially it does, and it needs to. My frustration is why did we have to lose to light a fire? I mean, we hadn't won a game in the league yet. So, I know where Cam's coming with that, but, I don't see losses necessary to light fires. Living up to the Bison standard, that should be enough of a fire.
To exploit that really gave you a hard time on Saturday after looking at the tape?
Well, offensively, busted coverage. There's two of them. During the course of the game. So we've got to find ways to fix that. One of them was a lack of communication. The other was just poor execution. And so talk to the defense. Do we have too much in? Are we asking our guys to do too much? Do we need to have smaller game plans so that way then we have better understanding what's going on? And then they did a couple things up front, run game-wise early in the game. They were kind of to the bubble. They were two gap in their defensive end, which caused some issues on some of our inside zone stuff. But in the second half, you saw offensively, we were able to move the football. Unfortunately, we got in our own way numerous times, and that's one of the things we talk about. Kind of in our plan for success is we can't beat ourselves. But when you have penalties in the red zone, we should have had them in a number of third and longs, but it seems like about every penalty we had defensively on the day was on second down, second and long after an incompletion. We need some people to make better decisions during the course of the game. Those are the things. I think they're still the same things that I talked about on Saturday.
Same, or that be overreaction, even asking about it, or how?
Yeah, this time right now. I mean, it's a Monday. We're healthy, which is a positive. But I think we can adjust some things. Probably we'll see. We'll see how the week works out. I mean, it's too early to say.
Evaluate your running backs as far as production this year.
Well, I mean, I think you take this game. This game's a little bit of a caveat. It has an asterisk next to it. When you're down 21-3, the last thing you're really thinking about is how are you going to get your tailbacks involved? We're trying to, how do we find chunk plays? How do we push the ball down the field a little bit? But I think we need to utilize them more. We've talked about that as an offensive staff, but part of that with some of the read things that we're doing, we can call running back run game or run frames, but if they're giving us the quarterback keep or the read, we're going to read it. And so, I mean, we've been able to run the football with our quarterbacks, but we needed more consistency up front so we can, lean on our running backs. Because I thought, you saw a glimpse. Barika ran really well. I thought TK ran really well during the course of the game. But it'd have been great if we could have had, 5 or 6 more carries for all those guys, but the game didn't allow it to happen.
Really play from behind very often at all. And so when you guys are, doing situational work and stuff in practice, how do you kind of simulate that so when they are in a position where they have to kind of play catch up, they're ready?
Well, I think just jumping like a 2-minute mode would be a scenario where every week we're practicing we're behind in that mode. Just trying to put backed up situations where you have to get first downs, you got to move the ball, you got to get it out to midfield. A lot of things that you're repping all the way through fall camp. We rep 2-minute multiple times during the week, each week. So, I think our kids, had composure. It goes back to we need to get more stops on third down. We need to get them to third down more often, and we need to be better in the red zone. 2 out of 4 on the one. Would we have the ball at the 3-yard line, and then we have a penalty, hands to the face. And all of a sudden now the ball's 3rd and 25, 3rd and goal from the 25. I mean, that's bad football, and I'll take the blame for it.
Things up a little bit as far as what you guys are doing defensively, some scheme stuff. Is that kind of an automatic response for you guys as a staff after a loss? Kind of go back to basics a little bit.
I think sometimes you got to take into account your personnel. And probably depends on who you're talking about in the defensive staff room. What trimmed up looks like.
Your defensive line play so far this year?
Okay. We need to make more plays, and we need to make fewer negative plays. And I'm referring to, we've had 2 weeks in a row where we've had a, roughing the quarterback situation where it's been 2-3 steps away, and there is no need for anything like that. Well, we made an adjustment during the bye week. I didn't know if this is where your question was coming from, Jeff, where we put Mason Miller at guard and we moved Gray to tackle. I think that's something that's going to benefit us down the road. Mason had a lot of reps from fall camp. That was one of kind of the things that we experimented a little bit. Wanted to give him the early part of the season to continue to get a better grasp of it. Him and I joked at, playing guards like playing football in a phone booth versus tackle. Where sometimes you can be isolated or be on your own a little bit more. So I think this is a better move. It's a move that will help him, and I think Gray's athleticism will allow him to be really effective at tackle. But overall, we need to continue to get better. We got 5 guys up there that start. We have a room of 7 or 8 guys that work extremely hard, but we need to lean on people. We need to move people on line of scrimmage, and we got to do a great job protecting our quarterback.
For you to be making those kind of adjustments this deep into the season,
We had a bye week.
Right.
So we had 2 weeks to do it. And we started this process back in fall camp, so it wasn't like, hey, Monday of game week, let's move these 2 guys. We had repped them already that way with the anticipation that this move was coming, and just trying to do it strategically rather than kind of like you insinuated. They're just, no, it wasn't just off the cuff. Hey, let's make the change.
That you've preached on that, how much did that come into play then on the offensive line of being able to move Zabel to tackle and then Miller to guard?
Well, it went back to fall camp. We kind of, hey, today Mason's going to play guard, Gray, you're going to play tackle. And there was a number of days like that. Again, I think it allowed us to try to find who our best 5 were. We knew we had Westy, who we won a ton of games with at center. and then we could emphasize, hey, Jalen, we need to get you out at tackle where you can use your athleticism a little bit. And, Westy does a great job of IDing things and getting us in the right run frame or IDing the mic. But, again, I think we can play better up front. We can play with better pad level. We need to sustain blocks longer.
Seeing a backup quarterback on Saturday after Clark left the game last week?
I watched the TV copy. I guess we'll prepare for both a little bit. Who knows? Maybe through social media is everywhere. There'll be some intel that we find out. But right now the Bison just need to worry about the Bison.